friends, welcome to Dining with Diamonds. My name is Em and welcome back to another post review here on the channel. If you're new here and this is your first time that you are seeing a video from me, hi, hello, and welcome. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you. I post diamond painting content like this all the time, and if you're returning, hi to you too. So if you don't know what a post review is, it's when I talk to you all about my thoughts, my opinions, my experiences with a certain canvas after I've completed it. And today's completed canvas is Under the Sea by Ste-Ann Mermaid and DIYMoonShop. She's 45 by 56 centimeters with round drills and 40 colors, and there is one AB in here, and I also did get the special treatment for this kit. Now, a little disclaimer before I go any further and start talking about all my thoughts and opinions and what have you, because I do have a lot of them. I do want to say that anything that I say in these post reviews are strictly my opinion. This is not anybody else's thoughts or feelings. They're all my own. And that being said, you might have a totally different opinion from me, and that's okay. I just like to do these post reviews so I can give you all my experiences and thoughts about a certain diamond painting or diamond painting company, so you all can make an educated decision on whether or not you want to purchase from either this company or purchase this specific painting. Okay, so now that we got into that, I purchased this kit from DIYMoonShop a few months ago. This was when Ste-Ann Mermaid was just announced as an artist, so I got this during the new artist launch. It came with like a Zuli tube, which is what they call their tubes. It's named after their daughter, and you can keep your diamond paintings rolled up in there, which is probably where this is going to end up after I'm done filming this. And I also got a couple cover minders. There were some gifts just for purchasing during the artist launch. And I kind of couldn't help myself because I love mermaids so much. And I really liked this image. So when I purchased this image, it was only offered in this size. Now, when you go onto the website and search for this image, there is a larger size than this. And honestly, I kind of wish that was available because I probably would have gotten that one. But before I talk about the things that I wasn't the hugest fan of, let's talk about what I loved. So after working on a DIYMoonShop and completing a DIYMoonShop earlier this year, this was like such a stark difference between the two. So this canvas is super soft. It is a bit thin, which is interesting, but it doesn't make the canvas any less durable, I found. Like, it flattens pretty easily. I don't really have any wrinkles or creases in it, which is great. There is actually one little crease up here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, there is one little crease up there, but you hardly can notice it. So that's great. That's a huge difference from like the cardboard cardstock backing or cardstock feeling backing that the older canvases have. So that is a huge improvement. There is also a legend on the bottom with all the information that you could probably cut off if you wanted to and have on the side for you to look at. I didn't really need to do that because I just placed all the symbols on the baggies that this kit came with, because they no longer come unkitted up, if that makes sense. They don't come in like the plastic that you have to cut open. They come in plastic baggies now. So, which I love. So all I did was write the symbol on it. There weren't any weird symbols that I thought would be difficult for me to decipher if I wrote them out. So they're all written here. I also found this really nice organizer for everything. This storage container was super, super helpful. And I just kind of found this perusing my little craft space, and it was perfect. All of like the larger bags of drills I placed on the sides, and then the smaller bags are all in the middle, and then the special drills are in this little compartment here, which, oh, the rhinestones are so gorgeous. And we'll talk about all that in a second, how I feel about them in this specific kit. The quality of the drills and the canvas was also 10,000% better than the first time I did a DIYMoonShop canvas. It was super sticky. The drills were all pretty even sized, although I still have, which I'm still which is why I'm messing with this here. But I still have some popping issues. It just seems like maybe the canvas is a little bit too small for the drills. At least this specific one was. So in some instances, I found that I had some drills not fitting nicely with each other, but that wasn't too terrible. I didn't feel like I had to mess with it too much or keep popping drills back into place. It did happen a little bit though. Definitely happened a little bit. That was all the upgrades, all the improvements that I noticed working on this kit compared to my last kit that I worked on from DIYMoonShop. But now I'm gonna get into the stuff that is stuff that I kind of feel like still needs to be improved on, which is fine. Everything is not perfect. And this could also have to do with it being a smaller size or what the image is of and how the image is drawn or painted in general, but we'll talk about all that. So genuinely, I feel like there was too much color blocking in this kit. And that is kind of unbelievable for me to say because I'm a huge fan of color blocking. But I really feel like this kit would have benefited from more confetti because it's kind of hard to tell what kind of scene we're looking at here. Because there's this weird mix of blues and browns in this kit that doesn't really entirely make sense for her being underwater. Now I'm going to show you the image here. This is from the special treatment that they gave me. And you can see that there is some of that brown in here, but it's also mixed in with these blues. And the blues that are represented in here are more like this grayish greenish color or this gray color. I'm not really sure why that is. It doesn't seem to make sense considering that she's supposed to be underwater. Another big thing is her tail and her tail fin. So in this image, in the original image, her tail kind of is, the perspective is her tail fin is in front and her tail is actually behind the tail fin. So it's kind of like fading into the background. So it makes it a little bit hard to translate diamond painting wise. And her tail here is also a bit translucent. But you can see it kind of goes from like this blue to this like darker navy blue into this purple. But in the kit, in how it's rendered, we've got the gorgeous blues in her tail up here and the special treatment here. That was so fun, by the way. I really loved the special treatment, just as a side note. But as we get up her tail, it kind of blends into the rest of the background with this grayish color. And that's not what I really imagined, at least from the image, what her tail would look like. I would assume that, or I assumed that it would go from like this bluish color to more of the darker blue color into the purple. But the only purple we have is the ABs in the tips of her fin, and it doesn't really make sense. It kind of feels like she's got, I don't know, like half of her tail is gone almost. And then in addition to that, we have this spot in between her tail that's got these blues in it that I don't really understand. It's not very coherent. And that could be because of the size, but it also could be because of the DMC color choices that were made in regards to this kit. One of my favorite parts of this kit and of the rendering is actually of her face. I feel like her face came out really good for the size. That was actually one of the things when I got this kit that I was excited for because her face came out pretty decently. Like when you look at it far away, it's really easy to tell that that's a face, and this is her hair, and we've got the sunlight coming in through her hair, and the reflection on the top I think came out pretty good too. But it's hard to tell that she's underwater, and the tail just doesn't seem very coherent. I do want to reach out to DIYMoonShop and just offer like constructive criticism in that way, just to see, like, I don't know if that will do any good, but just to let them know that, I don't know, some of the color choices were a bit wonky to me. And at that point, I was like, you know what, I'll just finish her. I was so close to finishing it anyway. It's a small kit. And it wasn't a bad kit to work on. I really enjoyed working on it. But like I said, it's really hard to make out certain objects in here. Like, if I didn't know what the image was, I feel like somebody looking at it would kind of be like, what is that supposed to be? And because of all the little details in here, especially in the tail, that's why I feel like this would benefit from either having more confetti or being a bigger size. I'm not sure what the bigger size would look like, if it would be any better, but confetti for sure would be more beneficial with this kit, because there was a lot of color blocking in places that I was honestly really surprised about. Like in her tail, there's a lot of color blocking. In the ocean over here, and that's the artist signature we have, there's a lot of color blocking. And then when you get to her hair, of course, it's way more confetti. But that made sense to me. But everywhere else, I was like, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. The ABs and the special treatment added were really fun. Like, I loved putting the rhinestones down. It just makes it so sparkly. But because they're so sparkly and the way the image is rendered, it kind of makes it look a little off-putting, if that makes sense. It kind of just doesn't seem to fit in with the rest of the image, especially, I guess, because of the size and because I can't really tell what's going on. So we've got these extra blinged out spots in places. So I feel like, again, to somebody who didn't know what the image was, they'd be like, what is going on with that? But they were really fun to work with, though. Same with the ABs. The only thing, again, with the ABs, the only purple in her tail, like we have purple all in her tail here. The only spot there is at the tips, and then half of the tail is grayed out, and then we've got the blue, and it just doesn't really seem to make sense to me. You know? Like, I feel like there should be a bit more color there. This is not the bigger sized kit. This is the size below the biggest size. But for an image like this, you definitely need to get the biggest size. For sure. I would hope that with the bigger size, there'd be a little bit more cohesiveness throughout, that you can kind of tell what the image is. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, because I enjoyed working on it, and I'm actually not as disappointed as I thought I would be with how she ended up coming out. But I am just slightly disappointed because these kits are so expensive, and because the rendering isn't exactly how I would imagine that the image would look, because this is a gorgeous image. I absolutely adore this image, which is the main reason that I bought it, but it just is lacking that, a little bit of that color. It's very grayed out, if that makes sense. I don't know if that helps explain what I'm trying to get at, but I do think she came out okay, regardless. That's why my mantra is always go big or go home, because then you kind of get disappointing looking final products from smaller images. However, it really depends on what the image is. Because this is such a detailed image, it needs to be a bigger size. But I have other kits that are small, like this. I have one from DIYMoonShop that is close to the size too, of the Cherryuki Sailor Moon, and that looks really great, but that's a really large image. Before I wrap this up too, I do want to say, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I do want to say that I feel like this image in general, this specific image by Ste-Ann Mermaid, is a really difficult image to render into a diamond painting, just because of all the little details like this, and because of the perspective. Like, we can see her tail is supposed to be translucent, and that's why we kind of have this weirdness here with her tail fin, and we can actually see parts of her scales through her tail fin, and that's not really easily translated on the canvas, so it kind of just ends up looking really strange, and we can't really tell what it is. It looks like she's swimming in mud, or something more gross than that. It's definitely not as elegantly rendered as this picture is, which, you know, it is what it is. I think the quality was fantastic regardless of the canvas. of the image. I mean, the canvas quality was really, really great. I hate saying negative things about diamond paintings or giving constructive criticism, but I think it's important sometimes, and constructive criticism is always kind of difficult to give. I have to do it in class all the time for people's papers. We do peer reviews, and I absolutely hate it. It's because I hate picking apart other people's work, but I feel like if I want to be totally honest in these post reviews, I have to let you all know about how I feel about a completed canvas, and I'm not totally happy with how this came out. I'm not as disappointed at the final product as I thought I would be, but it is still a bit, especially, and I think that's mostly because I really like how her hair and face came out in this size, but everything else just is a little not what I was hoping for. Especially when I got this kit, the rendering looked really good. I actually unboxed this on my channel, and I was really impressed for the size that the rendering looked good before the drills were on. So it could either be that this kit is too small for what this image is, or the color choices are a bit off. The DMC colors are a bit off. I think that's it for my thoughts on this canvas, and I'm gonna take you guys in for a little tour. Getting a bit late, so you can't see it sparkle as much, but I promise you, when it's in sunlight, it is so sparkly. The drills are so sparkly, especially with the added ABs and special treatment in here. It just literally glistens. It's so pretty. Now, I realize, like, diamond painting is supposed to be appreciated from further away, so when you step back a little bit from this kit, it is easier to make out what it is, but it's still a bit muddled. I think that's a good word for it. The image is just a bit muddy and muddled and not as colorful, I guess, as I had hoped it would be, but it's fine. It happens. Not every kit is gonna be everyone's cup of tea, which is fine. I still have 2 other DIYMoonshops in my stash that I'm really excited to get to and try out. But I will say, for the price, because I paid about, I want to say, I paid about $68 for this kit before shipping. So I want to say I paid around 100 something for this one kit, and that's a lot of money to be a bit disappointed. You know what I mean? So next time, for sure, bigger size, and hopefully that makes a difference in the overall image. But I digress. Definitely leave a comment down below about what you think of this kit and what your thoughts are, because I really am interested in hearing what other people see and how other people see it. And I would just be curious to know if I'm not alone in kind of feeling this way, or just if you have a totally different opinion from me. I would love to hear that too, and I'd love to hear other opinions and thoughts on this kit. But I gotta get out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever it is you are watching this, and I hope you continue to spread positivity and creativity in your everyday lives. I know this was not as positive of a review as I would have liked it to be, but DIYMoonShop has definitely made a lot of improvements, and I'm super excited to see where they go going forward. I just need to know to buy larger kits when it comes to an image this detailed. But I will see you all in my next video. Bye!